Councilor Garcia, we're live.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call the, what are we today? June 26, 2023 Public Works meeting to order. Sin, if we can have a roll call, please.
Counselor Amanda Chavez.
Here.
Counselor Lee Garcia.
Here.
Counselor Michael Garcia.
Present.
Counselor Carol Romero Worth
She's excused.
and Chairman Rivera.
Also excused.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to get a motion to approve the agenda. Is there any changes from staff?
No changes from staff.
Changes from the committee?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? I think this is just an aye vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have the consent agenda. So is anything pulled from consent?
Mr. Chair, nothing was pulled from the consent agenda.
Thank you. Anything that you all want to pull at this point, or we're good?
Move to approve consent.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Guys have it. And I think now we're on to presentations. We have the update on the development of the Santa Fe Teen Center, Ms. Director Sanchez Tucker. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. We are pleased here tonight. I'm Maria Sanchez Tucker, the Community Services Director, and I'm here with members of my team, and we're pleased to provide a status update on the Santa Fe Teen Center. And so tonight, Director Sam Burnett will give an update on the construction and where we are with the facilities. And Director Brian Stinnett will talk about hiring and staffing and introduce one of our newest team members. And we'll also discuss where we are with operations and programming and what we've been doing with outreach and work we've been doing in the community and the Mayor's Youth Advisory Board. And we will all be here to stand for questions at the end of the presentation. And I'll just ask Director Burnett to come forward and give an update on the facility. Thank you.
Good evening, councilors. Sam Burnett, Facilities Division Director from the Public Works Department. My team has had the honor to work on the design and construction of the facility. We're super excited to have been able to participate in this process and work with these lovely individuals. As you may know, the history or the story of the Teen Center goes back quite a number of years. I'm told as much as a decade, when city leadership and the community really identified the need that is the Teen Center or a Teen Center within Santa Fe. Once that need was identified, city leadership began working on the process of actually identifying and securing funds for the design and development of this facility. As you can see on the slide up at the moment, there were 5 distinct capital appropriations made to the facility, 3 state legislative appropriations, and then twice the city allocated GRT revenues to the design and construction of the Teen Center. In total, I think it's about $11.8 million that's been generated for the facility to date. We spent about $750,000 on planning, design, and construction administrative services. And we've spent about $9.25 million on construction. There's about $1.8 million of capital appropriations pending that's left over for future uses. In terms of progress on construction to date, so we are still targeting the end of this week, the end of June, for substantial completion of the facility. Right now, we're around 98% complete. We're looking right around mid-July to the end of July for being fully complete with the Teen Center project. As we move into substantial completion, we'll work on putting together a punch list, which is kind of all those items that need to be addressed, either things that were missed, something may have been broken, or some other final touches that need to be made to the facility, things the community can keep their eye out for that will be going on. We'll be finishing the landscaping. We'll be installing the photovoltaic panels. Mid-July, the furnitures, fixtures, and equipment will be delivered, less visible to the community. But around middle of July, we'll begin unpacking, installing all of that equipment, and basically getting the facility operational. In the meantime, we're working diligently on planning, the operations of the facility. Right now, my understanding is the targeted opening is sometime mid to late September. I know that the community services and recreation team are all working incredibly hard on recruiting to fill positions, to staff the facility. We have weekly meetings with our contractors and weekly meetings with the community engagement team to, plan the final touches and ensuring the building's operational and preparing for, a grand opening and, getting things underway. Next phases for the facility, again, we have a $1.8 million capital appropriation that we're waiting to be released by the state. There's a number of different ways that money can be used. Of course, there's going to be likely to be a need for additional furniture, fixtures, and equipment. There's been conversations about art projects taking place in or around the facility, and kind of an expansion of the outdoor amenities attendant to the facility as well. And all those things will be, kind of planned as capital funding becomes available and after they've had an opportunity to operate, identify where needs exist. I'd like to quickly, before I forget, we're also working on wrapping up the arts and public places for this facility. As you may be aware or familiar with, when there's a state appropriation, there's of that state appropriation, 1% is automatically set aside to fund public art that's intended to be installed directly in this facility. The city actually matches that 1% as well. Right now, we're working with Alas de Agua and YouthWorks on a screen printing and block printing murals that are intended to be installed in the facility. Our goal was to have those completed and beginning to be installed around the end of July or sometime in August. And so that process is going very well. I'd like to walk you through some pictures. These are from early last week, but some pictures of the facility as it existed last week. These first pictures, this is the entryway to the facility. The upper left, we're looking out the front doors of the facility towards the corner of Valentine Way and Country Club Road. The next two pictures are the entry kiosk. The one in the centers, kind of the help desk or where staff will be, providing services to the teens. The one in the upper right is where people will be checking in as they enter the facility. This is that same area, but kind of looking into the facility itself. In the center, you see the performance stage with the garage door, which opens it up to the outside activity space, kind of creating an indoor-outdoor connection. Upper left looks to the activity rooms. Upper right looks towards the gymnasium. Here's some pictures of the gymnasium. Again, another garage door creating an indoor-outdoor or opportunities for indoor-outdoor connections. Upper right, kind of looking over towards the separate weight room. And then there in the center, just a general picture of the gymnasium itself. This is the the activity and breakout rooms. Large room there in the center, large breakout room on the upper left, and one sample of some of the smaller breakout rooms on the upper right. Everything's a little dirty right now. One of the first things that happens on that kind of punch list is actually cleaning the facility before we open it. So excuse the the housekeeping. This is looking back towards, picture on the left is looking at the windows into the commercial kitchen. Picture on the right is the state of the commercial kitchen last week. We've made some progress since then. And then this is looking into the facility from the backside where people don't see a lot these days because it's fenced off. On the left, we have the permeable paving parking lot. The structure you see on the far left is actually where the photovoltaic panels will be set up. Nice shade structure for parked cars. And then on the right, kind of a view into the activity area of the teen center itself. And with that, I'd be happy to turn it over to Director Stinnett, who can talk more about the future.
Good evening, Chair and Council. I'm Brian Stinnett, the Recreation Division Director. I'm going to go through the next pieces on our presentation about where we are for programming, hiring, and other phases regarding the Teen Center. Our fiscal year budget for this year, 2023, we had $488,000. We've used a large portion of that for furniture, fixtures, and equipment, technology in way of computers, gaming systems, everything else that teens are going to want and need, as well as the salary allocations for our staff that we've gone through hiring. So that's for this year. For fiscal year 24, we have a requested budget of 1.3 million. Some of those highlights would be for staffing, for programming, and for 3 transportation vans that we can use to get teens to and from the teen center. Some of our expanded vision, just as we're thinking about it right now, we're looking to utilize analytics, understand how and when and why teens are coming to the center to be used. We want to use those to determine and further plan for any other additional staffing that we might need, and also types of programming that we would want. And another big goal that we have is how we can go about securing grant funding from the state to further fund access and things needed for the teen center. We mentioned a little bit about staffing, so I'm going to take a brief moment to introduce our first hire for the teen center, which is our teen center manager, and her name is Ziara Kirksey. So Ziara, coming up.
Good afternoon, Chair and Council. Very happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me. My name is Ziara Kirksey, and I am the newly hired Teen Complex Manager. A little bit about myself. I do have my bachelor's and associates in early childhood multicultural education. I do have 12 plus years of experience working and managing, supervising, and actually education as well, but running a community center out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And my passion is working for and giving back to diverse communities. I'm excited to be here and to see what the Teen Center can and will produce as we go forward. Thank you, guys.
Hey, I'll jump back in here and go a little bit further into what our staffing is looking like at the current moment. You met Ziara, our manager. She was hired on May 20th. She's hit the ground running, recruiting. We've handled quite a few interviews for our open positions right now, which are 2 supervisors, 2 program coordinators, and 5 youth specialists. We're happy to report that we've had 7 applicants apply for the supervisor position. We've had 5 for the coordinator, and we've had 1 for our youth specialist currently. We're about halfway through interviewing all of those applicants, and we look to finish those up by week's end. And then we've also worked with our human resources department on creating a weekly LOE. So if we are not able to fill all of them, we're still trying to capture people dynamically each week as opposed to posting them for a long period of time. Our goal is to get those positions filled and hired well in advance so that we can train properly, get them in the building to assist with some of the things like FF&E and getting the building ready, and then have everybody staff trained in all the types of certifications that we want for our staff prior to opening day. A little more thought into future positions and how we can work with the libraries. This is Director Sanchez Tucker's idea on how we can get a teen librarian in to work with some of the education pieces. And then we certainly want to assess the need after this first year of opening on how we can further utilize the space and if there is additional staff needed. We're working on a extensive list for some contracted positions. And what I mean by that is we're looking for some community partners to come in and provide some additional services that we can contract that further our ability to serve you. So we have a child to adult ratio that we need. If we have an outside person coming in to give an education class or cooking class, a culture class, art, anything along those lines, that pushes our ability to serve a higher capacity daily. That's one way that we're looking on how do we maximize the amount of space we have. We're working with the IT department on a new platform that's going to operate the teen center and also operate the rec centers. The teen center is going to be the first place where we're going to launch this. That system is called Vermont Systems, and more specifically, it's called Rec Track. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to track by the minute when a teen comes in, when a teen comes out. So there's a safety element to that. It's going to allow us to have instant parent contact, allergies, medical history, anything that we need pertinent, similar to what a school would have for when kids come in and out of the building. We want to make sure that they're safe. We want to make sure that they're accounted for, and we want to make sure that we're tracking when they come in and out. So when we start planning events and ideas, we can understand patterns, how many people are coming in. And then when it comes to us determining staffing and programming, this is going to give us real concrete hard data that's accessible in an instant for us to utilize. And most importantly, customer service and communication. How can we communicate with families of the teens? How can we communicate directly to the teens? And how can we utilize community partners like the public schools to get information out about what the teen centers has going on? So this platform is going to really help us in managing all of the tech ends for the teen center. This is a brief list, and I kind of have a little bit more subtitles that I'll read through. So we simply want it to be safe. We want it to be fun, and we want it to be inviting. Most importantly, we want it youth-led. We want our youth asking and determining what the types of things that they would like out of the teen center. We kind of broke those into two larger categories: education and social enrichment. And those kind of break down further into fitness and recreation, education and technology, leadership, service and civic engagement, life skills, prevention and wellness, and arts and culture. And those are the topics that we're going to focus what types of programming we bring into the teen center around. Some of our policy development, which we're discussing right now, is operational hours. We're gaining feedback through MyAB and through other teams. We reached out to the public schools and attended 4 mid-schools to see what kind of times that make sense for a teen center. We're also doing outreach regionally and what other teen centers around the state, Colorado, Arizona, and Texas are offering in terms of when they serve their youth and the times that they're coming in and out of the building. So we have proposed right now 12 to 9, but that's a work in progress. And our weekends as well. And that's also going to be determined on staff schedules and how we can maximize how many kids can be in the building at one time. We certainly want to cross collaborate with other city facilities, such as the recreation centers, the libraries, and other community partners. How we can also use some other city resources to serve youth, not only in the teen center, but outside in the community as well. And we're working right now on our staff development, what types of certifications we would like to plan and get scheduled for them to have coming in. We definitely want a mental and emotional health aspect, safety and security, de-escalation technique, and community and city resource connections. We want our manager, we want our supervisors and our coordinators really engaging with the community on bringing outside resources in. Just to name a few, these are some of the community outreach groups that we've had initial contact with. We've given tours of the center, as well as started brainstorming ideas of how they could fit into being a part of working with us at the teen center. Talking about funding, and a little bit more research. Some of the research I spoke to earlier, some of the other clubs that we've looked at, our Boys and Girls Club, specifically in Santa Fe and also surrounding areas. YMCA of Espanola, other programs and teams that are out there. We took a good look at Las Cruces and what they're doing in their programs. I toured Hobbs and a few others this past fall. We'd certainly want to get to the point to where we are level 1 childcare facility. And along with that comes criteria. It needs to have safety, fire locks, and curriculum that meet those standards so that we can move a little further down the line with grant-based partner funding. And those are some of the funding sources that we've looked through right now with the Santa Fe Community Foundation, Thornburg, and then we're looking through CEN and many others. We just wanted to list a few that we have been researching currently. We're also working with Mayor's Youth Advisory Board. We're meeting monthly with the Mayor's Youth Advisory Board. We're happy to report that we have had an influx of applicants, I think 7 in total, 3 new appointees that should be joining the board. We're too shy of reaching our 10-member limit. And they're working really hard with us on planning a teen summit, which we're looking to gain teen center input and kind of be a focus upcoming for October 2023. Our method of that is some focus groups and some peer input where the teens are providing feedback. We want to utilize that feedback in those opening early days of the teen center to start producing programs right off the bat. They're helping us with vision and strategic planning. They're going to be working with us on how we're using our analytics, future goals, collaboration with city departments. We certainly want to utilize the community services division for things like job training and internships. So when those teens are in there, we're actually providing them opportunities for career development. And then we certainly have user input and community involvement. So we definitely want MyAb being a part of reaching out to community partners and bringing back information on if, when, and how they can be a part of the teen center. The past 6 months, we've been putting on teen nights, which are free events. They were at the Chavez Center. We had one at Fort Marcy and recently a pool party on Thursday. MyAb's been instrumental in helping us plan and prepare for those, and also giving us ideas on what teens would like to do. So utilizing city resources allows us to do these events. This is something that we wish to continue at the teen center specifically, hopefully expand on as more than once a month, but also still utilizing outside community sources as well. And with that, this is our final slide and the final rendering of what the teen center should look like. There's a little change to the entry area but other than that, we're excited. We're looking forward to fall and we're working diligently to get everything ready for the youth in Santa Fe. Thank you all for the time.
Thank you, Director Stinnett. Wanted to say thank you for the presentation and any questions from the committee, Councilor Chavez.
Thank you, Chair Garcia. I just wanted to give a shout out to Director Stinnett and his staff. I have the privilege of working with him and his staff and kind of witnessing this group that is incredibly devoted to our youth. Him and some of his staff members have visited schools to recruit. They believe in the youth voice and they're working really, really hard to capture it to better serve the youth of Santa Fe. So I just wanted to thank them for the opportunity to work beside them. I always bring crazy ideas and he'll just roll with it. So I really appreciate that. It's been really wonderful to watch. We had MyAb. We had a lot of vacancies on MyAb and he believed that he could fill those seats and he has reached out and worked to create relationships to fill those seats. So we're getting closer to a full board, but it's just been really impressive. So I wanted to highlight him, his staff, and thank him publicly for all the work that he's done. So thank you.
Councilor Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No questions, just kudos. Lots of work going on. Just want to thank you all. And Ms. Kirksey, welcome to Team Santa Fe. And, look forward to you opening up the space and everybody having fun. Hopefully, I might be able to go undercover as a teen and partake in all the fun activities that you're planning. This is a space that Santa Fe deeply needs, and I appreciate all the work that's going into this, and just very excited. So yeah, good luck. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. Again, yeah, welcome, Ms. Kirksey, to the team. And looking forward to seeing what great things happen at this teen center. If you look off to the right here, I just live street over on Camino Rojo to the back. And so right in that area, my kids and I used to go fly kites, and it's a vacant field. And so, would have been nice. They were teens. Now this is complete, but you're not. And, I drive out on Camino Rojo farther up to Country Club, and every once in a while I'll come through Valentine Way just so I can kind of see how it's coming along. And sure enough, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, you can hear, the cranes and the construction crews just going at it. And I drove through there this morning, and it's looking nice. And so I'm looking forward to having that beautiful asset in pretty much the center of our District 3. And once again, kudos to you guys for all the work that you're doing. I think I have one question, Mr. Stinnett, and you mentioned that there will be some more funds that would be requested down real soon. 1.8 million.
Yes, Chair Garcia, I was speaking to the idea of future planning and using the analytics to help us drive whether or not some future fund allocation will be needed in future years. That's
Okay.
so that statement. Yes, sir.
So it's an ask that's going to come in the next 6 months to a year, maybe.
It's a potential ask. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just kind of, definitely there's been a lot of money that's been asked of and appropriated, and it takes a lot for these projects to come to fruition. So I just kind of wanted to be prepared for what that is and what's going to be needed for the future.
And thank you, counselors, members of the committee. Along that line, we still have some funds for to appropriate to furthering expanded plans. What Brian was talking about was looking at how, what do the teens want and request, what are they using, what future needs, so that we can really make sure that we're doing data-driven planning and preparing. So, asks would come in future budget, but also when we have the additional appropriation, we can plan and appropriately use those funds as well.
Thank you. And hopefully there'll be some invitations to go in and pop in once in a while so we can just hang out with the teens, because when we get to be involved with them, I think it's a little more powerful for their education and for their involvement in the community as youth. So
We failed to mention that we will provide information as soon as we can on the grand opening celebrations that you'll all be a part of. So as soon as we have more details and we have our staff hired, we will make sure to give you enough advance notice so you can participate in that. And hopefully you all will participate in some of the programming, because it'll be great to see such examples of our leadership working with the teens. So we would appreciate that.
absolutely. One last question. What is the ages that are going to be able to attend? Obviously very young teen center. So.
Right. We're currently looking at ages 13 through 19, and knowing that our tweens are going to need programming. And so that's one of the ways that we're looking at how can our additional youth programs that we provide support tweens, support teens that may have children. And so this is the way the library can also participate in some of our other organizations within the city. So we'll be looking at ways that we kind of support the family as a whole and but with our main focus being on 13 through 19 age group.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Again, thank you guys for being here and giving that presentation. Very much appreciated.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Here, so we have nothing pulled from consent. Takes us to matters from staff.
Mr. Chair, if I may take the opportunity to remind everyone, we've had a lot of holidays this summer and we have one coming up again on July 4th. So the city will observe July 4th and city offices will be closed and residential trash and recycling will not be collected that day on Tuesday, July 4th. It will be Tuesday's collection will be Wednesday, Wednesdays will be on Thursday, and Thursday will be on Friday. Monday's collection will not be affected. So if you have questions about that from your constituents, Monday is a go as normal. And we encourage all of our people to download the Recycle Coach app and set reminders for holiday collection. And everything's on our website. And that's all from staff. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder. I do see that a lot of people in the communities get confused still. They put I mean, we're just accustomed, we're creatures of habit. We put it out on the same day and then they didn't pick it up. So it's like, pull it back in, or do leave it out? Either way, thank you for the reminder. And do we have any matters from the committee? Matters from the chair. I didn't receive any communication from Chair Rivera and I have none. So our next meeting will be on Monday, July 10th, 2023. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you guys.